Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Pioneers Pathway podcast with me, Sharia, joined as always by my friend, Mr. Liam Villani. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you doing, Shaya?
All good, Liam. All good. So, Liam, we've managed to secure a very special guest today. What can you sort of tell us about him?
Yes. So it's really good to be able to welcome Preet to our podcast. As many of you know, I'm currently in Madrid in Spain, studying my master's in management. And over the past few months, it's been really good to meet so many people from such a wide background, different backgrounds, different sort of way places people grown up, worked. It's been amazing. So one of those people has been Preet. We are actually in the same class. So we spend a lot of time together during the week. Spend a lot of time together after class as well. We've been going out, really exploring what Madrid has to offer and what the university has to offer. So it's been amazing to get to know him. And I thought, why don't we not get him onto the podcast this weekend?
Great, Preet. It's great to have you on. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for inviting me to this podcast. And as Liam was saying, we both are in the same class and we have to go through the same classes and all the same assignments. So in a way, we are also united by grief. We have to do the same thing. So so it's quite fun. But and also we look forward to going around places in Madrid and. That reminds me, we are going out to dinner tonight. So yeah, I'm excited about that as well. So yeah, thank you for having me on this podcast. Yeah,
No, absolutely.
excited to
So
share my insights.
great. One thing I just wanted to sort of ask you, what's your experience in business school been like? What's one thing you've, enjoyed the most?
So I'm gonna give you a bit of my background. I wasn't a business student earlier. I was doing my undergraduate in automobile engineering, which was back in Chennai in SRM College. And after doing my engineering background, I was working in my family business, and in my family business, we have few things going on with our family business. We have a bit of medicine. We distribute medicines. Apart from that, we also have EV dealership. We also have a restaurant chain. So quite a few things in our family business. But I was focused more on the electronic vehicle business. We have a distribution for that. So while doing that, I realized that I have some background I understand the technicalities of automobile, but at the same time I have to become a people person. I don't understand much of business around me. So for those reasons I decided to change my fields and come to a business background. And so far, I mean, it's like I thought it's going to be too focused on accounting and finance and stuff like that, which is a very huge part of learning business and doing business. But at the same time, the course is oriented like 50-50, I would say. So 50% is on the technicalities, as I call technicalities because I'm from technical background and I put the maths and technicalities. So accounting, finance, and other stuff are 50%, but 50% of it is also focused a lot on people side of the business. So like just yesterday we got done with a class called storytelling and public speaking. So in that class we were taught how to present ourselves in front of public and how to be a better presenter and probably some public speaking skills that you could incorporate to get better. So so far it's been fun, man. It's been fun getting away from too complicated maths. It's fun. Yeah.
So from what I'm getting, you're saying that the big benefits are sort of that it's quite lateral, it's quite universal, right?
Yep.
It's not for people who just want to come in and do the number crunching or do or set up maybe a startup. You're really sort of being the managers and the leaders of the future, if
Yeah.
that's correct.
Right. Perfect,
Yeah.
perfect.
So do you think there's any specific areas which you think are most important? Like when you're sort of as managers, you're looking at maybe directors, CEOs, owners of the big multinational firms. Do you think there's any sort of area of expertise which is most important to that?
I mean,
Finance, maybe marketing. What do you think? Or is it just a combination of it all?
yeah, I feel I feel it's definitely good to have a background where you have like specific knowledge, let's say in finance. It's definitely good, but in the Masters in Management course, we are taught a bit of everything, you know what I'm saying? And like because of that, I feel you have a general overview of whatever is going on in the company. Maybe you want to know something about the data analysis part, and you have no prior knowledge of data analysis. But now in this MIM course, you have some knowledge of the data analysis, and because of that, I think you have a overall picture of what's going to happen and what's happening in the company. So I feel that's the most important. And if you have a specific knowledge in something, it definitely helps. But you also need to be able to look at the picture, like the bigger picture, which I think a master's in management or any business degree would give you. So yeah, that's important as well. And if you ask me which is more important, I can give you an answer which is important, like having specific because like let's say Elon Musk, for example, he has specific knowledge, he has management knowledge as well. So you see, he's doing great, he's doing amazing. But if you have just specific knowledge, you won't be able to communicate it with probably your technical team. You need to be kind of a translator in between the technical and the people person. So I think a management or a business degree would give you the ability to be the translator. So yeah.
So has this course sort of opened your eyes in terms of, say, for example, you mentioned you worked specifically in the EV part of your family business. So have you learned something here that makes you think, okay, when you go back, you can apply that directly?
I mean, of course, a lot of things. Like I've been learning so much about finance. I've been learning about how to read an accounting statement. I've been learning about just yesterday. So I was telling you about the storytelling and the public speaking. It's just an example. We have tons of courses like that. So I think these are the soft skills that are building me towards becoming a more people person. And a lot of people are very scared with the whole AI thing coming in the picture, and they are afraid that it's going to take away the job. But I'm like, business is always done between two people, two people and two persons. You are adding value to a person's life, so that's never going to go away. With AI, you can never do that. I mean, as for now, you won't be able to do that, because to add value to a person's life, you need to be a very people person. You need to understand emotions, and maybe in the future AI would understand that and know what to do with that, but not yet. So I'm not too scared about that as well. Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
just
the
sorry,
fact, go for it, Dave.
just to follow up on that sort of the AI picture, because obviously AI is something that it's unavoidable, right? It's
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
to our lives, and it's something that you
Coming
have
big
to
time. Yeah.
um you have to learn about, and you have to try and bring in. What I'm getting from you is that it needs a mix, right?
Yeah.
You use AI where it's needed, but you also maintain that human contact. Do you think with the gradual adoption of technology and with sort of online means of working, do you think that emotional human presence is being lost in business? And do you
It
think that's
has.
something good, or do you think it's something lacking?
I think I mean, it definitely is losing. Like in the business part, we are definitely doing most of our works remotely, and you rarely require to be present. You can just be on the Zoom call and maybe send a mail and get most of the things done. But I think even now, even today, most of the big decisions are not taken over mail or over Zoom call. Most big decisions are still taken over, face to face and stuff like that. And also, you need to be able to use AI for you and not against you. You have to understand how the AI thing is working and how it can help you grow your business. I'll give you an example. So we have a restaurant business as well, and I was last 3 months ago, I was trying to incorporate it. I was trying to I know we are already late, but Shaurya, I think you must be knowing about the Zomato thing. Like Zomato and Swiggy is quite huge in India, right?
Yeah.
It's like Uber Eats. So I was trying to incorporate that into our company, and it was a challenge because where we have our restaurants, it's a small place, and for the longest time, Zomato and Swiggy just weren't available there. So it got available like couple of years ago, but we were kind of late into incorporating that into our business. But I used AI. With AI, I created a food images and food descriptions for that. So that came in handy, and I could do it in like 15 minutes, which the amount of work that it would have taken me like hours to do, I could just do it in 15 minutes. So yeah, you have to understand how the AI can help you to build your business. So yes, you have to
So
understand like balance in between. Yeah.
So would you sort of have any tips for any, smaller business who's not using AI currently, but you think they should be using it? And what are the best ways they can look to implement it? Because obviously you're very knowledgeable, you have the expertise in AI, but for someone who doesn't, and if you're not using it, you could sort of fall behind the crowd, right? So
Yep, yep.
how would you sort of recommend to someone the best way to implement some system?
I mean, see, the way we interact with AI or interact with artificial intelligence, because like most of the bigger players are chat GPTs, maybe even the Copilot, which Bing has come up with, and also the Google. I keep forgetting what's the name of the Google one. Uh,
Gemini, I think.
Gemini, yeah, Gemini. So, so the way it works is like you ask them questions. You have to be a good question asker, because a lot of people in general, I don't think they ask questions, but you have to know what's the right question to ask. That's why the podcasting is booming, right? That's why you guys are being relevant, because you have to be able to ask the right questions to keep a conversation going. So it's a skill that comes with time. You have to incorporate that skill and cultivate that skill. So it happens with it. It works with AI as well. It works with AI in a similar way. That's what prompt engineering is all about. And again, if you're not a very good person with asking questions, maybe you can pick up a course on Coursera with something like prompt engineering. That would come in handy if you're a small business who's trying to scale. Because if you have the ability to ask the right questions, I think AI can do wonders for you. But if you're confused where to start and you don't have any clue about how to, handle AI, how to work with AI, maybe prompt engineering course would be perfect for you. And it's also free. You can just go on Coursera, and that's why I love YouTube as well. You have the whole world there. I mean, you have like courses from Harvard on YouTube for free, from Stanford, MIT, all the best schools are uploading their courses on YouTube for free. So if you just know what to ask, I think AI can do wonders for you. So yeah.
So, one question I sort of have is for businesses who basically take pride in being more traditional, how do they
Yeah.
strike a balance between, how do they draw the fine line between becoming more modern using AI and maintaining what's been their success factor, like the traditionalism?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so this is a wonderful question you asked, because like even I was confused, like how maybe let's try and focus on restaurant example, because I would be able to explain you that. So here in Madrid, there's a restaurant which is like the oldest restaurant in the world, which is currently present in Madrid. And so how they have preserved the restaurant is, obviously, because you have a restaurant, you're going to be working physically there. You have to be physically present, and you have to work with your customers and everything. But what they have tried to incorporate with the technicality side is, you have an online presence, which is their website. You have an online presence on your website, your Instagram, your LinkedIn. You do all of those things so that you stay relevant on social media. And apart from that, what you can do is, maybe you don't want people to line up on queues to be waiting outside of your restaurant. I mean, as fancy or good it looks for your restaurant, you don't want your customers to go through all the discomfort. And because of that, I think if you have an online booking system where you can maybe have a prior booking for, let's say. And also, this restaurant is massively crowded. Like, whenever you go there, you're not going to be able to find a seat, so you have to book it prior. So I think for a traditional restaurant like that, which is like probably the oldest restaurant in the world, they have done is like, as I talked about social media, they made sure they have a presence across social media, and they have a website, and then they have an online booking system where you can probably have like a booking for like a week or 2 weeks prior. So I think that that's sufficient. You don't really have to make sure a lot of things fall into place. You just have to make sure the few things that is the main concerns of the of your customers, I think that should be enough. And I think we can learn a lot from the business idea, because let's say you have a traditional shop in India, you can probably do the same. You just have to have your visibility, brand visibility, which you can do through social media. And if there's anything, maybe if you have a shop, you want to take it online, maybe you can affiliate it with an Amazon product seller or something like that. I'm not the right person to be talking about that, but I think you all have the idea right now. Yeah.
So just briefly touching on the sort of the idea of online presence, right? So which kind of follows through into the marketing realm,
Yeah.
marketing your product, marketing your service you're offering. How would you go about sort of segmenting that market, right? Because you've spoken about the restaurant in India, and that's going to have certain market segments, certain audiences. How do you go about making sure, yes, it's specifically focused on those segments, but it's not sort of barricading against other people, other audiences who might be interested, right? Because I know, like, if you look at maybe the normal sort of fast food restaurant, yeah, there's a certain market there. But if we want to grow that market, if we want to sort of expand that and attract new customers, don't you have to be quite broad? And it's the same with social media. You get a lot of the younger generation who are on social media,
Yeah.
who are very social media literate, but you've got a big audience, maybe the middle-aged to the elderly people who aren't as technologically literate, but you want to still capture that audience. What's the balance? How do you compute that sort of balance?
I would say there's two ways of approaching that. Let's say you already have a restaurant, you already have a business that's set up, and now you need to just make an online presence. That would be much easier compared to if you don't have a business and you're just starting out and you're relying a lot on social media. Because if you have customers who are already loyal to your brand, who are already visiting your restaurant, who are already your customers before you had a social media presence, I think that's going to help you a lot. Because once you are available on online, once you have the brand visibility up online, I think those are your segmented customers that you have to target. But if you don't already have that, it's going to be very difficult for you to create a crowd for yourself online. And how do you do that? I mean, it's a good question. How do you create your brand visibility online? So it varies. I mean, like let's say if you're catering, if you have an Indian restaurant and you want to be catering to let's say maybe if your restaurant is just outside of a college, so your college, sorry, you want to be catering to a crowd where it's basically college students. So how do you do that? Maybe you can affiliate yourself with the college, like maybe give some discounts to the college students. And during the how do you say that, during the college festivals, maybe you can open up your stalls with them, something like that. But I think to segregate the customers online, I think that wouldn't be. Also, I think there's a lot of tools online with Facebook, Instagram, and social media tools like that, like MetaSuit. You can use that, pay some money and get some customers targeted to, like whichever customer target you are gonna target for. But I'm not too sure about how that works. I'm very new to the marketing world. I'm not too sure about that. So yeah.
Okay, I want to focus more on your time in business school, right? So, especially doing a master's in management. So, I know obviously you have a family business background, which would have been one factor. But
Yeah.
obviously, there's a lot of, if say you've just done your undergrad, there's a lot of degree programs for you to choose out there. Why should someone choose a master's in management?
First of all, you should choose a master's in management if you're confused, because it gives you I mean, I was confused. I was confused for the longest time. I was like, maybe I should do a course in philosophy. Maybe I should try out something with the automobile. I want to go pursue, do something more about the automobile. I was confused for the longest time. But then I realized at the end of the day, what matters is like for business, for academics, for whatever it is that you're doing, is like, how do you manage that? How do you manage your time? How do you manage people? How do you manage your personal experience? Sorry, personal expectations? How do you manage all of those things, right? So I believe if you if you are able, if you're someone, if you're a high performing individual, if you're able to manage your time, manage person, manage your expectations, I think that should be more than enough for you. You don't need a degree, you don't need anything perhaps. So I wasn't too good at it, and I wasn't the best person to manage all of those things. So I decided, like, maybe if I do a course that could encompass all of the things, all a lot of things, but like encompass all of the most important things perhaps, I think that would help me a lot, because I don't need a specific skill right now. What I need is like to manage all of those things, right? So I believe that's where masters in management like worked perfectly for me. And if you're someone who is also struggling with finding what to do, what is the right thing for do, I'm not going to say that you should be doing masters in management, but if you have a passion for business, and if you think you also need to be doing a lot of things, maybe yeah, masters in management would be a good fit for you. But I mean, again, you should not rely on my words right now. You should obviously do your own research. It worked out for me, but maybe for you it might be different. But I'm just speaking my experience, so yeah.
And I
Absolutely.
think sorry, Shay. I was just gonna go off that. Something that just came up to my head. Obviously, we discussed before. Me and Preet go to the same university. If you're just joining us now, I'm gonna sort of follow on from him, and I think you should contextually you should know that. And our the slogan of our university, the kind of the mantra is the next best you. We're
Yeah.
told this every single day in every single lesson. It's always there, the next best you. And I kind of think it really fits into sort of what Preet's saying, like that it's always a continuous learning journey. And you talk to some of the really amazing CEOs out there, and they're always like, learning doesn't end. There's always constantly something you can do better because the world's always changing, right? And I think that's one thing that I've kind of really learned is that one thing, a good value which they try and instill us within this management program is that you've got to continuously like be receptive to all the things going on around you, and that sort of the versatility, that adaptability is so important going forward. And so a lot of the things aren't specifically business related, but it's more personal development. If you agree with me on that, Preet?
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course, of course, yes.
Yeah.
So one thing I just want to ask is lots of, upcoming entrepreneurs, they always think that is, formal education really that necessary to be an entrepreneur? Because you always see these cases, Steve Jobs dropped out, Bill Gates dropped out, whatever. So what would you say to someone like that?
I mean, it's for them to be dropping out, they have. I think it's a very how do you say
It's
that?
also for like if someone, I don't know, say who's like just finished undergrad, say 21, 22 years old,
Yeah,
and they have this business idea and they are
yeah.
debating, do I spend, I don't know, 20, 30,000 pounds, or do I, go for my business idea? So it's sort of this question is more sort of aimed at them.
I mean, if you are someone who is, yet to decide if you want to get into a master's degree or probably pursue your college, and you are conflicted in between two thoughts, like maybe I should build my own business, or maybe I should do a master's degree or undergrad degree. Maybe then you could, focus on building your business. There's nothing, no harm in that. But if you're already pursuing a if you're already pursuing any degree perhaps per se, I don't think you should be dropping out just right now, because you can obviously stop for a year. And I mean, it's always good to have a degree to back you up. And we were just learning about this a few days ago. Most of the startup entrepreneurs who are successful in their things are usually aged around 34. So you have a lot of time if you're 21, 22. And but also because of the image that we have, like social media presents us with this image like 22-year-old became a billionaire overnight. I think that's not true. That's not true. You should not be in any hurry to be dropping out of your college and building a business and thinking, oh, maybe if I don't do this right now, maybe I'll lose my opportunity to be a billionaire. It's nothing like that. You have your time. Maybe stay in college for some time. It really helps to, meet a lot of people. I mean, the best people that I have met was in my time in my university. So spend some time in your university. The idea that you're thinking about is going to be the next best. thing that's gonna happen to the world, it's probably not really good, you know. So probably not really good. It could be the next Apple or the Facebook thing, but it's probably not good. So I mean, spend your time in the university. If you're already in the university, please don't quit. That's my personal opinion. If you are not in a university, if you're planning on doing a business or you're conflicted, maybe then you can perhaps do your business thing. And then afterwards, if you want, you can join a university or not. It's up to you. So, yeah.
Sort of following on from that, okay, say you're a hypothetical, aspiring entrepreneur. He's worked on his business for 2, 3 years. Now he's debating, do I do an MBA or an MIM? Now, I assume that's a debate you would have had in your mind, right? So, what would you say to someone, regarding that?
I mean, it's not up to you to be deciding if you want to do an MIM or an MBA, because if you have work experience, you can do an MBA. If you don't have work experience, you are only left with one choice, which is MIM, because for MBA, they require you to have a minimum of 3 to 2 years work experience. And
Assuming
for
this
me,
guy has 2, 3 years work experience, he's perfectly qualified, right? Yeah, he meets every, entry requirement for both.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think the wiser decision here would be to do and pursue an MBA, because MIM is good for someone who does not have work experience. And now, obviously, after an MBA, you will have the same, even more options available for you than if you're an MIM graduate. So yeah, the best decision would be to go for an MBA. And we were just I was talking to a few MBA graduates from, not graduate, but my MBA students from our university, and almost all the courses that we have are the same. I would say 90% of all the courses and all the curriculum and all the academics are the same. It's just the difference is the name of the degree, the MIM and MBA. It's just that 90% of what we are doing, they're doing the same things. It's just they have more opportunities for them. So yeah.
Great. Liam, do you have any questions? Further question on this?
No, I think that was pretty concisely done. Yeah, I totally agree with with the point about sort of experience, work experience. But I also do really believe, again, following on from Freed, it's the same sort of modules, same sort of courses, that we're being taught. I've got MBA friends who are being taught the same subjects, same teachers as well, same levels. So it really is dependent on what sort of life stage you're at. How long you want to spend at university in general, whether you want to do a part-time, fitting it around your lifestyle, right? But yeah, I agree with that. It's the same. However, just wanted to quickly just touch upon a comment made about sort of being at university isn't just about education; it's about who you're meeting, and this networking sort of theme coming out of that. Preet, what do you think is sort of the networking? Does masters, is it a good way of networking? What's your kind of experience with the networking? Do you think it's important, or there's kind of is it a short-term benefits or more longer-term benefits from it?
Yeah, I feel, of course, like Masters is an amazing place to be networking, because especially our university has done an amazing job in putting people who are like-minded. So there are some people who are still struggling with the, not struggling, but like figuring out with their career paths. Some people who are already building their startups or their ventures, and there are some people who are here to figure out what their goal in life is. So you meet a lot of people who are going through various stages in their life, and I believe this kind of experience you don't really get in real life, because a bunch of 23 years old or 24-year-olds who are trying to figure out what they want to do in life, you put them all together in a room, and boom, there you go, there's your masters in management. You start realizing that you're not alone. First of all, you start realizing that all of the experience that you have learned, probably some other person also shares some of those experience. So you feel like, oh, maybe now if this person can do something, maybe I can do something as well. You start understanding that, okay, I also have a lot of opportunities here. And as you said, you have like people who are like-minded, who want to change the world, who want to do something about the negative parts of the world, and who are passionate about building businesses, who are passionate about doing things, making the right choices. So if you put them all together, it's an amazing opportunity to meet people who are like-minded and build network from there and go about changing the world together. So yeah.
Because they always say that the people who later on in your career, the people you call upon for support, for advice, maybe there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there who are busy creating a team of informal, formal advisors, people they can go to for support or connections, and it's the people they've known from their youth, their sort of their education, the people they've grown up with, who they trust, right? And that's, I guess, what university is all about, right? Meeting those people, meeting the people uh, who will go on to be your most trusted advisors.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And where else would you find like a bunch of people who are like almost like you? It's very difficult to find people who are almost like you. So going to a university is that's why I think I invested my time in here because I wanted to meet other people who are like me, who are passionate about building businesses and learning about businesses. So yeah, that was one of my main concerns while joining an MIM. So yeah.
So I want to ask, what's next for you, right? I assume, how long is your program?
It's 15 months. So they have just
Okay,
changed earlier it was 12 months and now they have just changed it to 15 months.
And
okay.
just sorry, just to interject in terms of the course program, that's not just studying, is it? Right, that's including the internships and sort of an exchange as well, right?
Yeah, there's a lot
So
of things you
lot of
can do.
things packed
Yeah,
into 15 months.
yeah.
Yeah.
So after these 15 months, what's next for you?
I I think that would be a very difficult question to answer because there's just so many opportunities in these 15 months. We have a global immersion week where you can, sort of go to there's options to you can visit New York, Dubai, London, places like those for a month and learn from companies which are there. And you have options to do an exchange semester, which are again in one of the best schools in the world. And apart from that, you have internship opportunities. You have so many things, man. You can also do a dual degree, or you can do a separate course in there. So I mean, for now, I have a set of plan in my mind. If nothing goes well, I know what I'm going to do. But that's my plan A, B, C, I think. Plan C. But A and B I've kept for what comes next. I'm still to decide what's going to happen because I'm still learning so much. Every day I go to class and I find out something new. So I don't know what's going to happen in 15 months. I'm excited about it. I'm on the lookout for opportunities. But if nothing goes well, I have a plan C and D. But if everything goes well, plan A and B, yeah.
And isn't that not just the lifestyle of the business person, right? Unpredictability. You don't know what business is going to come next, what
Yep,
sort of
yep.
what the industry you're going to go into next. It's being just versatile for everything.
Yep, it's like you have to be comfortable with the uncertainty because it's very similar. Real life is also very similar. There's uncertain situations like you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, right? Business, I think businesses also reflect that a lot. You also have to be comfortable with the uncertainty. So yeah.
Great. So what me and Liam introduced in our very first episode is we have a segment which we call investor presentation. So what we'll
Yeah.
do, it's a rapid fire round. We'll ask you like a few questions. We might get you to expand on one or two here and there.
Okay, perfect. No problem.
Okay. So
Yep.
first question is, what's your favorite social media for marketing?
I would say Facebook because do you
Okay.
want me to expand why?
Yes, yes, I want to know this one because Facebook, it's considered like for the older generation now. So
Yep,
that's why I
yep,
want to
yep.
know
But
more
that's
about this one.
that's that's where the money is. That's where the money is. No 20, 25 years are going to spend money on your brand. They're very cheap. They want to have like €5 burger and go about their day chill. They're not going to spend money on your business. But the real person that you want to be targeting is like the older generation. So I think Facebook is the right way to go.
Okay, one piece of marketing advice you feel every business should know.
Sell your truth. I mean, a lot of people would wanna. would be inspired by companies like, let's say, Apple or Facebook or stuff like that. But Apple is selling their truth. It's selling the security. It's selling the luxury and all of those things. So they're selling your truth, and you have to know what your truth is to be selling that. So yeah,
Okay. One business school myth.
one business
School myth.
school myth. Okay, one business school myth. I mean, I don't want to say anything controversial, so I'm gonna try and think more about that. Uh, you don't study a lot in business school. I think that was a myth, because a lot of people think that the academics is very rigorous and you have to spend a lot of time studying. I mean, if you manage your time perfectly well, you wouldn't have to worry about anything, honestly.
What do you think is the sort of is there a balance between the practical and the theoretical in business school, or do you think there's more sort of practical stuff than sort of textbook work?
Yeah. I think like 70% is the practical is the focus on learning practical skills, and 30% is the theoretical. I mean, I was expecting it to be more. I was expecting it to be 60% theoretical and 40% practical, but it's opposite. And I think it's actually the right way to teach business, you know. It's the right way to teach business, because you can't teach someone from a textbook. You can't just be like, okay, just read this and you will understand. You can't do that. You have to collectively come together in a classroom and then discuss ideas. And mostly, I mean, Liam must be knowing this. So in our class, we have this thing. We have class presentation, no, class participation markings as well. So if you don't participate in the class, you're gonna lose out on some marks. But it's a very good way to invite people to speak their truth and what they think about the class. And honestly, I'm learning so much from people, not just the professor. Learning so much from the students who sit right next to me, and not just the professor. So I think, yeah, it's about being in the class. It's about being learning. You learn from everything, man. You learn from everything, not just the books. You learn from people, you learn from the text, you learn from everything. Even walking on the corridor, you see how people are behaving to certain things. I'm learning from everything, man.
Okay. One entrepreneur you look up to and why?
For me, it's Elon Musk. I just like how crazy he is. I mean, the whole world will be telling him something that he can't do, and he's like, "Watch me." So I feel to have that badass attitude is what is very important, and you have to challenge the norms. You have to challenge. Also, I think I take this inspiration from Dave Chappelle as well. He's not an entrepreneur, but like he says one thing which goes like, you have to test limits. And I think that's very much what Elon Musk is doing as well. He's testing limits. So that's very inspiring.
Okay. And you could invite any three people in the business world for dinner. Who would it be and why?
Elon Musk for
Yeah.
Elon Musk, and then I would wanna. So I have no idea about investing. So I wanna sit down with the who's the guy
Warren Buffett.
Yeah, Warren Buffett. I wanna sit down and ask him I mean, please tell me what investing is all about. So Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, and also Mark Zuckerberg, because I wanna see if he's a real person or not. I believe.
You might have some chaos at the table with Elon and Mark
Yeah.
Investors,
there.
investors.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you could collaborate with any brand, who would it be?
Any brand. Hmm. I wanna do it with, let's say, brand. I mean, do you say fashion clothing brand specifically?
No, not it could be anything. Like I'm talking like it could be Pepsi, Coke, etc. Any like brand you would want to work with in the future.
Right. So, uh, so there's this company called Nothing. I don't know if you know about
Okay.
it. Nothing. They make phones, and they make a lot of technological things. They recently produced Nothing phones. They produce like earbuds and stuff like that. So they are changing things. They're changing things like the last people who were changing things in the smartphone industry was Apple. And after that, I think the only people who dared to change anything is now nothing. So I feel I would love to collaborate with them. They're coming out with something like with some cool stuff. So yeah.
Okay. Last question. Business school or learn on the job?
Uh, I would say business school because I am currently in one, but my answer will change in a year. So yeah, maybe invite me again.
Sure, absolutely. Great. I
Yeah,
mean, that's that you've successfully satisfied all the investors.
yeah.
So, if you guys sort of had to give any closing remarks in terms of your experience at business school and everything you've learned, your experiences so far, what would it sort of be?
Uh, I would say with now AI coming in the picture, with now most of the things AI can do, you now really have to be, if you have to have a successful business in today's world, I think the most important skill is to become a people person. And I feel that can be achieved while being in being involved in a lot of things. And I think that's where the business school comes into play. You are involved in the classroom. You are involved with a lot of people. You are continuously talking to so many people, learning from them. So I feel yes, you have to, with AI coming in the picture, I feel nowadays you have to be a people person. You can't just say that I'm an introvert and sit in your room. I mean, that's not gonna work for you anymore. If you want to change things in the world, you're gonna have to go out and I was an introvert once, man, but like it's not something that you can't learn. You can learn how to talk to people. It's a skill that you can learn. Like it's like coding. You can learn how to code. It's it's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be challenging, but you can learn that. So yeah.
Great. Preet, do you want to just tell our listeners where they can find any of your work? Like, shout out your social medias, whatever you
Of
use.
course, of course, of course. So I'm very bad at these things, man. I mean, I have a YouTube channel as well. Maybe we can do one thing. I'll give my links to you
Sure,
guys so you
sure.
can put it in the description. Maybe we can do that. I don't remember my username. It's something Preet underscore Jatania underscore 2016 or something like
What we
that.
can do maybe on the clips, so on Spotify and YouTube and on our social media, we can
Yeah.
put in like some links and also to LinkedIn as well. People want to
Yeah,
connect.
yeah, yeah. Of course, of course. That
Great,
would be
Preet. It
wonderful.
was, a pleasure having you on. We've learned a lot about business school. I'm sure our listeners as well. A lot of their questions have been answered by
Yeah.
you, and they would have learned a lot from it. So, Liam, what can we sort of expect in our next episode?
Okay, perfect. So actually, me and Shari are taking a bit of a break next weekend. We're going to have a bit of a break off. We're still online, so we're still accessible. If you have any of your questions, your queries, you want to get in touch with us, please still do. But we will be coming back the following week with a very special guest. I'm not gonna reveal the identity now. Got to keep checking our social media, and it will be released very soon. But it's a very, very interesting guest. Completely different sort of areas of topics we're going to be speaking about. So really interesting to get sort of you listen to today's podcast. Hopefully, you'll get another view, another perspective in the next few ones. I think we'll probably release it over the next week or so on social medias, right, Sharia? So
Yep.
um, so we'll do that as well. But once again, there's an open invitation if you want to get involved with us. Come and speak with us, or simply just ask some questions and we can answer it on the podcast coming up. Just get in touch. On our social medias. And there's always there's a link there where you can come and message us. So just get in touch, or even privately to one of us. We'll always be open to chatting.
Great. Yeah, no, I've heard from a couple people with, potential ideas and things that they wanted to listen to. So we've noted all those things down. Do keep those coming because we will definitely, act upon those. We want to get as much of your feedback as possible. We want to do the things that you want because end of the day, this is not only for us, it's for our listeners as well. I wouldn't be anything without them.
Yeah, yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. So yeah, open. We're open. We're ready to talk. Please come. Please get in touch.
Great. Thank you so much.